All right, everybody. Now is time for you to understand exactly what it's going to take for you to hit your goals in 2024, 2025, and beyond, whenever you need to set your goals, right? I tell everybody all the time, real estate is hard work. It's not going to get any easier, right? I can promise you over the next 18 to 24 months, it's going to get harder. The market shifting, interest rates, economy, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The great thing about it, guys, is if you lean in, set your goals, and then do the work, you'll be the captain of your own ship. I don't know how else to explain this to you. Stick to this program. If you enter the information you want to achieve, if then you make sure and use the daily productivity tracker, within 6 months, we'll be able to sit down and I can tell you exactly what you will need to do in order to achieve literally any income goal that you have, to live a big life, to live your dreams, to provide for your family, your loved ones, to share that legacy for years and years and years to come. Now, I can give you the tools, the resources, the spreadsheets, the information, the training, coaching, teaching. What I can't give you is the want and the will to succeed, right? I can't give you the work it's going to take to put into this. Now, as you grow your business, I can work with you and talk about leverage and other things to make it easier. But as you're just getting started in real estate, your time is your leverage. You have to do the work, period, end paragraph. And this is where it all begins. If you don't start with this, you have zero understanding of where you're going to go in your business. Now, that also combines with the fact of if you think about it, even if you try to get through traffic, I live in Orlando, but if you live in any major metro, even when you try to get to work, oftentimes you're going to use a GPS to get there, right? Just to avoid the traffic. It's the same thing with this goal spreadsheet, and it's super easy to use. For now, and I just put 103,000 because every time I talk to a new agent, they say my real, not every time, most of the time I talk to new agents, their goal, their initial goal is $100,000 in GCI. Well, I used this as an example in my market center, in my area, to show what it takes to get there. This spreadsheet will help track that the entire way, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break it down now for you. So in my market right now, and if you look at the columns here, excuse me. The columns in blue are the things that you can change. The columns in red, don't touch them. Leave them alone. They're auto-calculated. They're there for your help. The items in white, don't touch them, right? So if you see a white colored cell with no background, don't touch it. You'll see here there's a formula in there. It works to your advantage. If you see something in blue, you'll see that there's just a number here. You can change that. But if it's in red, again, you're going to see a formula. If you type something into the red or the white background cells, you're going to screw it up. So stick to the blue. Just trust me on this. I don't care what your goal is. Let's say your goal, and you can change the numbers here, but you will see based on my market. And actually, this is a bit skewed because I'm going to change this. Our market right now is $410,000 on average. But let's say you're a new agent, you're not going to get there, right? So you see, I changed the cell B8 into 410. Let's say you're a new agent, you're not going to be hitting the creme de la creme. You're not going to be hitting. You might be working a little less than average. So just for argument's sake, we're going to put this at 308, not 38,000. No, we want to do $380,000. One more zero. So at $380,000 with 12 deals, you're going to generate $104,700 in GCI. And this auto calculates it. It tells you exactly what you need to do based on the parameters. I need to secure 19 listing and buyer agreement by setting 49 appointments over the next 52 months. Does it sound that easy? Well, yeah, it is. Does it take work to get there? Absolutely. So let's break this down real quick. So most brand new agents are going to do about a 25% listing side. That auto calculates. But let's say you're an experienced agent and you say you're going to do 50% listing side. You'll notice that the buy side automatically changes and it splits your listing sales goal and your selling sales goal. Cracking so far. All right. Well, we're going to put this back for now at 25% because we're talking to new agents. So I know I'm going to do 25% of my business of the 12 deals is going to be listing. So that's three deals. I know that because 1 minus 25% is 75%, gives me a buy side sales goal of 9. So 9 plus 3 equals 12. There you go. Let's walk down through this a second. We know in my market right now, you can key in your average sale price. So if your average sale price is different than what I have, great. You can key in your average sale price. If your average commission rate is different than what ours are in our market, not in my brokerage, in our market at general, the average commission is running about 5.25%. If you are in a capping model, and we are all in a capping model here at Keller Williams, key in your cap there because that deducts from your GCI. Awesome. You will eventually get to the point where you understand your cold lead conversion and your warm lead conversion. You should know the difference between the two. You're going to have a much higher conversion rate on warm than cold leads. For argument's sake, as a new agent, cold lead conversion, a paltry 2%, you should do better than that. Warm lead conversion of 50%, you should do better than that. Next line here is sphere of influence business, right? Most new agents are not going to be killing it with their sphere initially. If you feel you're going to, you can change that number. You can say, I want it to be 50% of my sales. That is automatically going to change the cold lead generation business right there number. But let's for now leave it at 25% just for argument's sake. And you'll notice some things happening over on the other side of the screen because all of this auto calculates, guys. You don't have to even think about it. Then we talk about other things, sphere of influence, relationship call to appointment, listing appointment to conversion percentage, selling appointment to conversion percentage, listing side closings, selling side closings, contacts to appointments. All of those are variables that as we get to know your business, we'll be able to make it specific for you. Everybody's numbers are different. As you get more experienced in the business, those numbers are also going to change, right? But that's where the coaching comes in. That's where we sit down and talk about what your business looks like. And that's why I'm saying we need 6 months of this data to really prove it out. And that comes through the daily productivity tabs at the bottom. We'll get into that in a second. But after about 6 solid months, we'll start seeing a trend. And we'll review that every month because you're going to see a shift in the trend based on your experience, based on the market, based on a wide variety of things. But if you're tracking those trends, and that's why I call them lagging measures, right? We know that by these things, these lagging measures are going to be indicative of your results. So if you're focused on these things, we know that you are going to convert. So let's scroll down here real quick. All of this is auto-calculated. All of this below, you don't need to touch anything in here, but it tells you exactly what you need to do, starting at your foundation, leads. You have to lead generate, period and paragraph. If you are not generating leads, you will not make it in this business. If you're making it in this business and you stop generating leads, you will not make it in this business. The first law of the database is build the database. Second law of the database is continually feed the database. You have to feed it. You have to be generating leads. These numbers are going to change here based upon the numbers you put in here. But for now, just for argument's sake, let's just look at this. Based on these numbers, what this tells you is combined between cold and warm, you need to do roughly 700 leads this year. You need to have 700 leads in your database this year to do $104,700 worth of business, worth of GCI. Is that making sense? It breaks it down and says, I need to do 600, 700 cold, and I'm only got to do 10 warm because you're cold lead heavy. Remember, 25% of your business is only coming from your SOI, 75% is coming from cold lead generation. This will change. So if I tell you you've got to do 750 leads a year in order to make that, that sounds crazy. But if we look at the weekly commitment, and if you realize that you need to only generate 16 leads a week, 16 leads a week to get to that 700 number, it's more digestible, right? Eat the elephant a bite at a time. Don't focus on the mountain ahead of you. Focus on that next few inches, the next few feet, what you're going to do next to lead generate. And if you're honest with yourself and put in the work, you're going to hit it. Now it gets to calling. And for calling, let's just call it communication, right? I'm scared of the phone. Well, number one, if you're scared of the phone, this is not the right business for you. You will not generate a huge business. You will not be able to communicate as effectively, as efficiently if you do not pick up your phone and make phone calls. That's not to say that all of this has to be a phone call. Personal communication, text messages, direct messages on Facebook or social media. It would be door knocking. Anytime that you can get into some place where you're attempting to communicate with someone, call arounds, FISBOs, expireds, door knocking for open houses, you name it, all of those what I call calls. We can call them communication attempts. Whatever you want to call them, just know that you got to do the work. So in order again to hit $104,000, you are going to have to place a minimum of 12,770 some odd 12, oh, well, just round up 12, 13,000. Let's call it 13,000. You're going to have to make 13,000 contact attempts over the next year. If I were to come in and tell you, you're expected to do that, you'd say you're crazy. There's no way. But when you break that down and realize that you only have to do a little over 240 calls a week, that breaks down to less than 50 a day, 5 days a week. 50 contact attempts a day, 5 days a week, which in real estate terms, that's part time. You're going to hit your goal. It tells you how many calls weekly you need to make from the cold call perspective and from the warm contact perspective. And then it talks about commitment. So this will all break down based on the averages. But what it comes down to is you are eventually going to have to get 49 total appointments, 19 agreements, buy or sell side, which sounds like a lot until you break it down by the week. That's 4 appointments a month to get 2 agreements combined. Guys, that is not hard. Do you understand why you should be able to attain this? It is not that difficult. So what I want you to do is just for now as a new agent, go in here and set this to whatever amount of income you want to make, right? If you just want to do 5 deals this next year, you're going to understand that you're going to make $34,000 in the work you need to do it. If you want to make 50,000, you're going to need to do 7 deals, 54,000 at 7 deals. All the rest of the numbers are going to take care of itself, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do. Now, what this is very interesting. So this is going to pull all the information from your daily productivity sheet. I cannot make this any simpler, y'all. And then over here, this week, this automatically calculates to the week number of the year it is. Right now, we're in week number 42 of the year 2023. And it tells me that I am 42 weeks into this year. None of this other data is in here. I keyed this in leads in my database just to show you another example. But from the daily productivity tabs, it's going to calculate all of this information. This thing right here tells you how many of each one of these you should have in your database. So by this time, if I had started this in January, by this time this year, I should have placed 5,815 calls, cold calls. I should have placed 87 warm calls. So it calculates it, and then it's going to tell you what percentage you've achieved. Guys, if this is less than 100%, well, yeah, this is less than 100%, you're missing the mark. You should be tracking all the time. So if this says 50% at any point in time, so right here, if we look, leads in my database, I should right now have 328. At this point, I have 20. It tells me that I've got 6% of what I need to hit my goal. That's a sad face, right? If this says 60%, that's a sad face. If this says 99%, it's a mostly happy face. If it says 125%, it's a really happy face. If it's 150%, it's a super, super, super double, triple happy face. Are you following what I'm saying? So this is all going to auto calculate. Don't touch it. But this is the important thing too. This tells you how much right now business is in your database. Now business, people are ready to transact. How do I get to 350? $3,591,000. Well, it's a known fact, and there's some calculations here that everybody in your database knows at least 150 people that could refer you. And if you're a geek like me and look at the formula up here, there's G14, which is the number of my database, times 150. 12% of everybody you know right now is looking to transact in real estate, and 12% of everybody that you know that they know, and that they know that they know, and they know that they know. So all of these people are potential referral business. If you're making it clear that you are the real estate expert, that you can help people transact business anywhere in the world, and don't be afraid to ask for that referral business, that's what you can get. Guys, this is not made up numbers. This is actual factual stuff. So I just keyed 20 in. So let's look and say you are going to start in 2023 just to track your numbers. So you want to go down to today's date, which is October 20th, Friday. And it's pretty simple. All you need to do is key in the number of new leads. So each day that you're doing work, you're going to key in. So today, oops, I got to escape out of that real quick. There we go. So if today you added 5 new leads, you're going to key in 5. If the next day you keyed in 0, you're going to key in 0. If it was 10 the next day, 25 the next day. What happens now is all of these numbers tabulate here. Are we tracking? So we're not going to do that. So as you add those in, all of this is going to go. Same thing. Did you close any selling side deals today? If you closed one, great. If you did, blank 0, and then another one here. So that's going to tabulate, and it will come over here and show you how many deals you've closed. This is going to auto calculate all of this. So as you do your work, you have to be dedicated every single day to keying this data in. Without this data, you might as well just throw the whole damn worksheet away. This data will allow your coach, will allow your mentor, will allow your accountability partner, whoever you want to talk to be able to look at this and know exactly where you are and identify where your pain points are, right? If you're generating a lot of leads, but you're not making any calls, it's going to show up. If you're making a lot of calls and you're not getting any connections, we have a plan for that. If you're making a lot of conversations, making a lot of connections, but you're not getting enough appointments, that's a different talk track. If you're getting appointments but not securing buying or selling agreements, that's a different talk track. If you're getting the agreements but not closing sales, that's a different skill set that we as coaches can coach you up and elevate you. But unless you are keying this data in, it is of zero, 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 zero effect. The only thing you need to be aware, so every day you're going to key this in, cold calls connected, cold appointment set, any notes that you want to key in, warm calls connected, calls attempted, right? All of this is going to go in, and it's going to be cumulative. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be day by day. The only column here that is different is the current pendings. Look at that word, current pendings. How many deals do you have today that are pending in your database? If it's one today and you put another one pending tomorrow, it's going to be 2, but you're going to delete the 1. So this should only have one number at any given date, only one number, right? And that will reflect your current pending deals on that given date. If we are in October 20th today, and today I have 2 pending deals, I'm going to put a 2. If one of them sells or closes today and we're now tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to be 1, right? So guys, I hope this made sense. I've got it set up for 2023 and 2024. This is the key to your success. Now, I tell people all the time, there is a continuum between interested in and committed to. Interested in. I know a lot of people that are interested in being in real estate. I know some people that are committed to real estate. And I know a few people that are in between. What you put in here will show your commitment. What you put on the daily productivity tracking sheets will show your commitment to being the best you can possibly be. I promise you, if you use this sheet to guide where you're going, consult with your coach, consult with your mentor on how you are going to lead generate. Lock your time so that you have the communications, make the calls, and don't give yourself grace. Be focused on the things you can do to improve your business. You can make excuses or make money. You can make excuses or you can make a big life. You can make excuses or you can make a legacy for your family. Are you going to be interested in or committed to all of that? It's not that hard. You can do it. This is one of the many tools that can help you get there. But without the tracking, without you being honest and keying this in every single day and being religious about it, every coach in the world isn't going to be able to help you. Guys, get yourself ready. We are in the fourth quarter of 2023. What you're doing for the next 3 months is going to determine how you get started in 2024. Double down, be committed, and get this done. And I look forward to seeing your success.